Go ahead, ma'am.
Hello all. My name is Dr. Sneha Balki. I am IVF consultant at Oasis Fertility, Pune. So today we are going to discuss a very basic and very easy topic. So everybody who comes to us for fertility or preconception always has one query, that what are the foods that we can consume safely and what are the things that should be avoided when we are planning for a pregnancy or we are undergoing a treatment for fertility or we have conceived. So today's Facebook Live is going to be about what are the foods which are going to enhance our fertility and help us keep you rejuvenated during the difficult months of summer. So first and foremost, we'll discuss that how to approach diet. So we all know we are what we eat. So whatever diet we take forms the basis of our health, our agility, our vitality, and subsequently the fertility even. So what happens is anything that we consume has a direct or indirect effect on the gametes, on your fertility. And thus it is very important to understand what basically is safe to consume when you're planning a pregnancy, when you're planning conception, or you're undergoing a treatment for fertility, or you have conceived with treatment or without treatment. So what should be your focus when it comes to diet? So the diet that we consume, it forms the basic building block of our body. Our body requires diet for energy. It requires diet for some essential vitamins, some essential amino acids. It requires minerals for formation of good quality of your sperms and eggs, and thereby to sustain the pregnancy also. A balanced diet is what is very essential. So when we say a balanced diet, what does it mean? So diet majorly is divided into two parts. So first part is what gives you energy and what helps you in forming your building blocks or to build the body. So these are the units of your diet which we call as macronutrients. Macronutrients are those units in your diet which you consume in a higher amount. Now, these macronutrients are mostly carbohydrates, which help in providing energy, which energy is used to perform the day to day activities. Another important is protein. Protein forms the basic building block of your body and helps in gaining weight or building muscle mass. Then your proteins and essential amino acids are required in various processes, not just in fertility, but apart from that also. Like some enzyme actions also require some essential amino acids, which you derive from proteins. Another macronutrient is fats. So fat is essential in a moderated amount. Why? Because if a sufficient amount of fat is available, it gives you satisfaction of hunger. And another thing, the vitamins and nutrients which are available in the diet are absorbed only with the help of fat. So some amount of fat is also essential in the diet to regulate these bodily functions. So these are what form the macronutrients. Now let's look at the other group. The other group, of course, it is the micronutrients. Now what are micronutrients? The vitamins like A, B, C, D, and E vitamin. Then another vitamins, along with vitamins, we have minerals like zinc, magnesium, then iron. All these minerals are also required for proper bodily and enzymatic functions. So these micronutrients are called micronutrients because these are consumed or these are required in a lesser quantity, and in this lesser quantity we have to moderate our diet, we have to monitor the diet so that these micronutrients are also included and there is no vitamin or mineral deficiency. So what does it mean by a balanced diet? A balanced diet means where the macronutrients and micronutrients are in a perfect harmony, and the basic daily requirement based on your age, based on your height, based on your lifestyle, and based on whether you're planning fertility, planning pregnancy or not. So accordingly, a balanced diet should be able to provide whatever macronutrients and micronutrients that are needed to keep you energetic and to help you in smoothly doing your bodily functions. So what does it mean? So we will just divide what are the macronutrients. So macronutrients, the first and foremost is protein, which is very essential when we are concerned about one's fertility potential. So proteins are considered to be the building blocks of our body. Protein is very essential, and the requirement, as a general rule, irrespective of your age, irrespective of your height, irrespective of your lifestyle, just as a general rule, should be at least 1 mg every kg of your body weight for 1 day, for 124 hours. Supposing if a person is 60 kg, person has 60 kg weight with a moderate activity in his lifestyle, so they have a requirement of at least 60 mg of protein in 1 day. So that should help us in at least analyzing whether our protein intake is adequate or we need to step it up. So, what are the foodstuffs that are higher in protein? Traditionally, the Asian diet or the Indian diet in particular is a little bit higher in carbohydrate based meals, and protein levels are a little bit less. So, we need to be concerned about this, and adequate steps should be taken in order to maintain a balance in all of these. So, a protein requirement when it's higher. So, when a lady is trying to conceive, she's planning a pregnancy, the protein will be needed for development of proper eggs and implantation and further growth of the baby. So, these proteins should be available in your daily diet. So, what are the sources of protein? So, various non vegetarian sources such as meat, fish, chicken, eggs, all these things are higher in protein content. And when they are involved in your weekly diet meal on a moderate frequency, they are able to provide you with your adequate protein requirement. For vegetarian sources, for vegetarian people, the other options such as tofu, paneer, or the various cheese, then some milk products like yogurt, curd, all these things also provide protein in adequate amount, along with some vegetarian, some vegan options such as sprouts, then other than that, some chanas or some vitamin supplements. All these things are very high in protein, and these are available for vegetarian options. The egg, we say, is a complete diet, is a complete protein, because out of all these options, that is the one food that has protein, fat, carbohydrate in just an adequate amount, where it ideally shows what a balanced diet should be like. So, including an egg in your diet every day solves most of your protein requirements, and you are able to sustain your basic bodily functions. So, this is the first macronutrient, that is protein. The other macronutrient, that is the carbohydrate. So, carbohydrate diet, the diet, Indian diet that we have, is much carbohydrate rich, in which we prefer to have some simpler carbohydrates. Simpler carbohydrates such as wheat or processed flour like maida, then our rice, any cereal based meal has a lot of simple carbohydrates which are broken down easily by the human body. Now, this is definitely necessary because it gives you the required energy to carry out your daily work. But it also has a drawback that because these are simpler carbohydrates, they are broken down quite fast, and they give you an immediate post meal sugar spike. So, if there's a sugar spike which is immediate and doesn't last very long, your body's insulin levels are also getting higher, which again predisposes you to develop diabetes. So as it is, Indian population is the diabetic capital of the world. So we need to opt for more protein rich diet and to substitute our simpler carbohydrates with some complex carbohydrates. And what are the complex carbohydrates? Many millets like jawar, bajra, ragi, these all are rich in complex carbohydrates, and along with those there are also micronutrients available in these carbohydrates. So switching over to a healthier option in your routine meal is going to give you adequate energy, and also doesn't elevate your sugar spikes, doesn't lead to a lot of sugar spikes, and gives you some micronutrient supplement also. Another third macronutrient is the fat. So, in a balanced diet, your daily requirement of fat should be at least 15 to 20% of your daily calorie intake. So, here we should choose healthier fat options. Rather than getting your processed refined oils, we should opt for healthier oils which have a lower boiling temperature, such as olive oils and kardai or rice bran. Those all things should be opted more. So you can switch over to healthy fats. Some amount of fat supplementation happens when you choose for protein diet. So protein also has fat along with it, because animal protein will also have fat, some amount of fat, and then your cooking medium or something you can modulate so that your fat intake is balanced. So this is what we should be following to keep our macronutrients balanced. So now let's come to micronutrients. So what are the micronutrients? Right, there are three divisions in the micronutrients. So first would be vitamins. Your vitamins are something that's very essential for reproductive function particularly. So vitamins such as vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin D, these are the vitamins which are concerned with the quality of eggs, the quality of sperms, the motility of sperms. So these are the foods that you should definitely include when you're planning pregnancy. So foods which are rich in vitamin A, such as papaya, any colored fruit like carrots, papaya, then any red, yellow, or orange color foods, you should include more. So vitamins, then minerals such as zinc, magnesium, and iron. These all are necessary for enzymatic actions of our body. So there are various enzymes which carry out various processes in the body which lead to proper functioning of the body. So many micronutrients are required for this proper functioning. The requirement of daily intake is quite low. And when you include various fresh fruits, various vegetables, then locally sourced and are without any preservatives, such foods are included in your daily meal, your basic requirement of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants gets fulfilled. However, when you're planning conception or you're facing some fertility issues, then that should be a time where you should do a conscious effort to include more of that uh, in your diet. Because what happens, any fresh fruits or any vegetables, they will supply you with fibers, and fiber is also essential to give you a sense of fulfillment or satisfaction of hunger. So traditionally, what happens is this satisfaction of hunger is sought by taking more of macronutrient based meals. So if you have to cut down on your weight, like there are few conditions in fertility, in infertility, such as PCOD, where the where the lady would definitely benefit by having some weight loss. So where we are planning to do some weight loss, at that moment, the macronutrient amount or macronutrient percent of the meal should be decreased, and the meal should be including more of fresh fruits and vegetables, so it gives you a satisfaction feeling of hunger, and along with that it doesn't overburden your system. There are no empty calories. The calories are there which supply you along with micronutrients, vitamins and antioxidants also. So indirectly they help in improving the quality of eggs, the quality of sperms also, and the overall vitality of the body. So, last is antioxidants. So, antioxidants is something which helps in reducing the levels of oxidative stress. Now, oxidative stress is something that we face invariably in our lifestyle. It's all because of the radiation exposure, the heat, the stress that we face in our day to day activities. So, all these things generate reactive oxygen species. So, these oxidative stress, what it causes, it degrades the quality of our cells. So cells being the eggs, the sperms, the WBCs, the RBCs, your muscles, everything. So in order to reduce this oxidative stress, the antioxidants are the ones which help. So antioxidants can be supplemented from outside, but if definitely it does help when you include more antioxidants in your diet. So if there is a good supplementation in your balanced diet, then the requirement of your medications, the requirement of vitamin supplements, this all comes down, and the treatment or the quality of your gametes, it is definitely improved. So what we see is, due to this lifestyle changes, there is a lot of access and lot of preference for ordering out or taking out, dining out. So this predisposes us to eating more of refined oils, then processed food, junk food, fried food, which are not necessarily good for your fertility. So, a lifestyle where we can devise a way where we can be more proactive and being more mindful about what goes into our stomachs is definitely going to help even in the fertility. Fertility treatment or preconception is basically a starting point for your baby. So it depends all on us that whatever we eat, we are what we eat, and whatever we eat is definitely going to predispose to what our future generation is going to be. So once you conceive, the baby, the child is going to get nourishment from you basically. So the way you eat is going to have a significant impact. So a very small thing that you consciously choose now is definitely going to give you a reward many folds in the form of the future generation being healthier. So this is something that is completely in our hands, is what I feel. And then hydration is something that is very often overlooked nowadays. So water intake, due to our lifestyle, due to the routines which are quite packed with so many activities, and we hardly have time for ourselves. So a good water intake of at least 3 to 4 liters, especially nowadays during summers where the temperatures outside are quite soaring. And here, if we spend too much time in the ACs and ventilated spaces, we don't tend to feel thirsty, but we are getting dehydrated nonetheless. So here, if we keep our water intake consciously of at least 3 to 4 liters per day, it helps in the fertility, it helps in hydration, and it helps in maintaining the health of your kidneys also. So this is something that we should definitely keep a watch on. And nowadays there are many things to help us out, even like there are many apps which give us reminders every hourly to have a sip of water. So that is something that is completely in our hands. So we just need to be aware about what are the things that we need to change, and what are the ways, what are the small subtle ways, subtle changes that we can consciously take an effort and achieve a balanced and healthy nutrition. One more thing is, someone who is facing issues with fertility. should cut down completely on another toxic substance, that is, uh, they have to avoid binge drinking, and any form of alcohol can be toxic, and there is no low threshold for the level of toxicity. Like if you're having only once or twice a month, but somebody else, they are probably having it every day, but we cannot predict that for whom the effect is going to be more. So there might be somebody who is exposed to this binge drinking quite often, but then they are not as affected as somebody who is not that often exposed to drinking. So anytime we are facing a fertility issue, it becomes prudent that you completely stop any consumption of alcohol and smoking also. So this is also one of the takeaway points of today's talk. The last and not the least, uh, following of a proper sleep schedule is also quite important and often overlooked nowadays, when there are some jobs which are quite demanding, where you have to do the duties in shifts probably. So following a daily sleep schedule becomes challenging. Even then, we have to take care of our sleep schedule also. And because the melatonin secretion from your brain, it happens, it is at the peak during 11 p.m. to almost 2 a.m. So if this is the time when you are not getting into deep sleep, the melatonin secretion is going to get hampered, which in turn hampers the secretion of your gonadotrophins, or your hormones related to fertility. So if those are hampered, the secretion is hampered or it's affected, then indirectly it's going to affect the fertility. So this is also one thing where the sleep schedule is to be followed, and try to include a moderate exercise in your daily routine. So the goal should not be weight loss, the goal should be to maintain your vitality and your health when you are aiming for an exercise. So any exercise that you enjoy, at least 4 to 5 days a week, for at least 45 minutes to an hour. So any exercise that you enjoy, like aerobics, like gyms, like swimming, like dancing, or like running, whatever can be included. And it definitely gives a boost because it increases your blood supply, your turnover, thereby reducing your oxidative stress. It improves the blood supply to your internal organs, and it helps in lowering your sugars, your fat, your carbohydrate requirement is reduced, and it releases endorphins, which are the happy hormones. So, doing such an activity with your partner is definitely going to help you in many ways. And apart from the health benefit, it does give you time to bond with your partner also. So that's it for today's talk. So anybody amongst the listeners who has a question about today's session, I'd be happy to answer. So any questions? Uh, so if in case of any fertility regarding questions you have, or you have to consult to our fertility experts, feel free to contact on the helpline number mentioned below. So we will end today's session with this note. Thank you very much.